And as we said, of course, West Virginia, Congressman Evan Jenkins and Attorney General Patrick Morrisey hope to beat the ex-con coal baron, Don Blankenship, who's gotten quite a bit of attention in this race. And as a result, he is gaining some traction. Joining me now, Attorney General Mr. Morrisey. Good to see you this evening. Good to have you with us tonight. So
hey, it's good to be with you tonight. Thank you.
You bet. We're glad to have you. So explain to me what you said today about what you see as campaign violations from the Blankenship camp and why you reached out to his parole officer in Nevada.
Yeah, a couple things. Very big issue. Don Blankenship has a history of ignoring the rule of law, and everyone knows about his criminal conviction relating to the conspiracy to violate mining standards. But when you file as a U.S. Senate candidate, you're supposed to actually submit your personal financial disclosure, your wealth, your income, your assets, your liabilities. And Don Blankenship's just utterly ignoring that. And that comes with potential civil and criminal penalties. And he's just brushing it off like it's no one's business. But this is important information for voters so they can actually know a little bit more about you, your finances, your conflict of interest. So we wanted to make sure that people would know about it.
His parole officer, I guess, said he doesn't see this as a violation. He's not concerned about this. And we know that Don Blankenship has said that he doesn't think it's right that candidates have to disclose all that personal information. And he's making sort of a stand about that. Do you think voters care that much in West Virginia whether or not he does this?
I think voters care if you just ignore the rule of law, and that's what you're seeing from Don Blankenship. I think that he's been weaving this tale during his campaign, but as the election draws close, I think people are beginning to know, and especially President Trump, that nominating Don Blankenship would be an electoral disaster for West Virginia because I think he would be defeated by Joe Manchin, and we're seeing more and more people talk about that from the President of the United States on down.
This is your other opponent, Evan Jenkins, talking about why you are now turning your ire against Don Blankenship. When we had y'all on the debate stage, it was mostly Jenkins versus Morrisey and Mr. Blankenship out on the side. But that dynamic has changed as he's risen in the polls. Watch this.
Patrick Morrisey is desperate. He is taking shots now at Don Blankenship. He's been all over the board. It's just a clear indication that his campaign is on life support. The polls suggest that he's in a distant third. Patrick Morrisey is desperate, so he is trying to attack anybody, create any news he can.
You want to respond to that, sir?
Sure. I think it's pretty straightforward. Voters know about Evan Jenkins' very liberal record. He's actually, we've seen in all the polls, faded to third. And so right now, Blankenship and I are in a close race. And I think it's important to educate people. But the most critical thing, I think, with 24 hours to go, people should know I have the strong conservative record endorsed by conservatives, West Virginians for Life, Second Amendment groups. And I think people are very motivated to get out to the polls and ensure that a proven conservative wins against a liberal and a convicted criminal.
We will see. You've got 24 hours left, and just to be fair, there's polls all over the place that show you guys very close in some and flip-flopped in the first, second, and third spot. So it's going to be very interesting to watch tomorrow night. Thank you so much for being here.
Just wanted to wear the hat. I want to thank President Trump for what he did coming out and having my back today.
Well, we know it's been a contest to see who's Trumpier in West Virginia.
Hey, this is the best hat.
A lot of hats in this campaign. Thank you very much, Attorney General. Good to see you tonight.